North Korea is cut off from the world, ruled by one man. A nation suffering under sanctions because its leader spreads fear globally. We're venturing inside the most secretive country on earth. We stopped first in Beijing. Our next stop was Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea. A tense atmosphere fills the plane as we board the state airlines Tupolev, the only flight still operating this route. How do citizens actually live where so little information gets out? Dictator Kim Jong-un has been testing numerous intercontinental missiles. He's now threatening any U.S. target with atomic warheads. Yet, he's also seeking closer ties with South Korea. A joint delegation at the Winter Olympics is intended to pave the way. Upon arriving in Pyongyang, our belongings are thoroughly searched. Our laptops and phones are meticulously scanned. Any books deemed suspicious are immediately confiscated. Following this, we're welcomed by officials from the Ministry of Culture. Mr. Ham and Mr. Pak will essentially be our shadows for 2 weeks. Their sole purpose? To dictate what we film and never leave our side. Only a handful of streets are actually illuminated. Suddenly, our car begins to slow down considerably. When passing statues of the leader, all vehicles must reduce speed to a walking pace. Our chaperones move into the Pyongyang Hotel with us. The absolute first rule is we cannot exit the building without them present. It's our first morning in the heart of Kim Jong-un's vast empire. Around 3 million individuals reside along the banks of the Taedong River. It's considered a significant privilege to live in Pyongyang. The government strictly determines who is permitted to relocate here. We observed groups known as the Motivational Brigades, energizing the city's workers during their morning commute. Accompanied by Mr. Ham and Mr. Park from the Ministry of Culture, we embark on our initial exploration of Korean daily life. We quickly learn that unscheduled interviews are absolutely forbidden. It's not just that we're prohibited from speaking with anyone. North Koreans are strictly forbidden from interacting with foreigners at all. Volleyball, our guides inform us, is the nation's most favored recreational activity. Tennis, they also mention, is another emerging trend. Finally, they grant us permission to speak with one player. We ask him about the significance of the sport in his life. Our people must become fit to defend ourselves against the Americans, he states. Together, we shall vanquish our enemies. That is our people's primary duty. We are not afraid. We are prepared. Enormous portraits of the paramount leaders, Kim Il-sung and his son, Kim Jong-il, the father of the current dictator Kim Jong-un, adorn the city. The Arch of Triumph honors Kim Jong-un's grandfather, the eternal president. We are formally greeted by the official tourist guide. Mrs. Kim proudly informs us this arch stands 5 meters taller than its famous Parisian counterpart. Up here, you can hear the words of our beloved Kim Il-sung song. Following this patriotic musical interlude, we explore the monument's interior. We are shown a film detailing the arch's history, complete with a German version. One crucial revolutionary tenet emphasizes the concept of the great leader Kim Il-sung, who seeks to perpetuate the significant achievement of national rebirth across generations. The nation's founder, Kim Il-sung, established a personal and familial cult, resembling ancient Egyptian dynasties far more than a modern nation-state. Pyongyang bears a strong resemblance to Russian cities, yet exhibits clear Chinese influences as well. Whatever the youngest offspring of the Kim family proclaims in his capital is considered not merely law, but also a solemn promise. Our respected Marshal Kim Jong-un has called upon us to achieve global dominance in sports, science, and the economy. Sports are extremely popular right now, and we aim for even greater excellence. North Korea, A global sports powerhouse? Numerous new sports facilities have indeed been erected. The prevailing motto is to think big. At the Ice Dome, accommodating 6,000 spectators, national teams are actively training. Skating represents North Korea's highest chance for international success. Our great President Kim Il visited the stadium twice, and our great leader Kim Jong was here 7 times. Even our highly respected Marshal Kim Jong has visited us 4 times already. Visits from the leader signify both an honor and a profound obligation. Athletic accomplishments are not pursued for individual glory, but as a dedicated service to the nation and its supreme leader. Thanks to the immense care from our nation's fathers, the working class can train rigorously for their success here. We are exceptionally well prepared in all winter sports, ensuring our athletes secure numerous victories for our respected Marshal. Moon Soo-il has already participated in international competitions. What is his most cherished aspiration in the realm of sports? A photograph with the respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. An 18-year-old athlete is practicing with his 12-year-old partner, who is a lightweight, which helps facilitate both lifts and throws during their routines. However, age disparities such as observed in this pair are strictly prohibited in international competitions. The pair's coach expresses considerable dissatisfaction with this particular rule. In Austria, some time ago, we were barred from competing due to the age difference. We had to substitute with an older girl and ultimately achieved no victories. He is often abroad and he feels different, or sometimes the Europeans or Americans look. So, these are the North Koreans here, this feeling sometimes? I believe that kind of question is entirely off the mark. Okay. If it's about a sport, you should inquire about the sport. An undeniable reprimand, delivered with a pleasant smile. Our presence guides us to another remarkable feature of Pyongyang, the metro system. Its stations rank among the deepest globally. In the unfortunate event of war, they are designed to offer protection from aerial assaults. Sheltered, or perhaps more accurately shielded, is also how the populace remains from independent media outlets. Internet access is completely banned throughout North Korea. There is a complete absence of a free press. The sole information sources available are state-controlled newspapers, which exclusively disseminate propaganda. These subway terminals rank among the world's deepest. They are intended to serve as protection from aerial attacks if conflict erupts. Similarly, citizens are kept shielded from outside media sources. Access to the internet is forbidden within North Korea. A free press does not exist there. Information is restricted to state-run publications disseminating only propaganda. The vintage subway cars originate from West Berlin. The Dora model was manufactured during the 1950s and 1960s. These trains were transferred to North Korea in 1997. Etched into their glass are remnants of Berlin's youthful era. Inside the subway, passengers regularly encounter propaganda. We are permitted to ride with them for a single stop. Upon reaching Yongwang Station, we are instructed to disembark. The station names reflect themes related to the revolution. We inquire if we can place a phone call to our homes. We had been informed that North Koreans were prohibited from making international calls or sending emails to other countries. However, we discover that there are specific regulations for foreign visitors. According to our attendant, SIM cards for smartphones became available for purchase in 2007. Initially costing $200 for the SIM card and internet access, they propose adding an extra $50. Including a service charge, the total amounts to $350. I must provide written confirmation that I will not lend my mobile phone to anyone else. It is functional, but Korean citizens can also acquire one. It is exclusive for For foreigners it might be obtainable, yet you have the internal network and you're content with that, alright? But did you consider the possibility of a gray or black market for selling it to the populace? To distribute it to the citizens? No, we did not. You see, in our nation, as you can observe, it stands as the most secure location on the planet. There is absolutely no crime, no homicides or anything of that nature. Certainly, there is no unofficial market. Understood. So, is there no need for a prison system? Yes, naturally. Individuals who have defected from North Korea present a different narrative. Furthermore, human rights organizations such as Amnesty International assert that there are 4 detention facilities exclusively for political dissidents, where a minimum of 120,000 individuals are being confined. We are forbidden from discussing any of these matters with our escorts. Our itinerary includes a visit to the Kyongsang Kindergarten. Residing in Pyongyang is considered an honor, and it's an even greater distinction for your children to attend an establishment of this caliber. After all, they represent the future elite of the nation receiving their education here. We incorporate physical activity because it fortifies the body, promoting health and resilience. Through this, these young individuals will continue to contribute to our nation's prosperity in the years to come. The youngest children are cared for from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Today, they are diligently and motionlessly drawing snowmen. No one exhibits disruptive behavior. A sudden power outage occurs. Everyone maintains an unexpected level of composure as this is a common occurrence. The standout student at the Hyeongsang Kindergarten is 5-year-old Kam Kong-sung. Johann Sebastian Bach's Prelude in D minor is presented. It is reported that she has only been receiving lessons for a single year. Those possessing talent are identified, nurtured, and showcased. As another highlight, the kindergarten orchestra performs a special rendition in 3/4 time, dedicated to us. Situated on the outskirts of Pyongyang is the dedicated sports city. Athletes dedicate themselves to training for international competitions within massive stadiums. In sports like basketball, for instance, which is a favored activity of the United States, North Korea's adversary. Volleyball squads and table tennis competitors frequently achieve moderate achievements. Basketball presents a different scenario. However, the coach understands that the revered leader also places his hopes on these young athletes. My aspiration is to compete in Asian and global championships with my team, thereby honoring the esteemed leader. In North Korea, nothing is separated from political context. Everything serves a greater objective, including athletic pursuits. My desire is to champion the principles of our respected leader through our volleyball efforts. I aim to ensure our teams regain their former level of success. Traffic is heavy on Chongsong Bridge, despite limited fuel and energy due to international sanctions. Our next destination is the realm of science. A rocket stands prominently at the core of the new science center. We are informed that this symbolizes the leader's close connection to scientific advancement. As you can observe, the structure itself is designed in a magnificent atomic configuration. The esteemed Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un was the architect of this building. Numerous specialists contributed to the design of the structure under the astute guidance of the Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un. This field is primarily defined by advancements in weapons technology. For the North Korean government, maintaining national sovereignty and the capacity for self-defense are intrinsically interconnected. This represents a model of the Unha No. 3 space rocket, which translates to galaxy in English. These work areas provide individuals with access to the nation's internal network, provided they are interested. It should not be mistaken for the global internet, which is prohibited. This facility is dedicated to the propagation of science and technology. This is an extensive digital repository of information. All residences and establishments are linked to this complex via networked connections. Consequently, we observe a significantly higher number of online visitors compared to this location. The reason why no one is actively working here remains an enigma to us. This is an electronic study area equipped with 500 seats, allowing individuals to access the intranet. Only 28 entities offer their content on this internal network. Among these are various governmental bodies, such as the Office for Maritime Affairs. The material it dispenses is harmless. It functions more like a promotional brochure than a comprehensive library. The intranet is also intended to foster an understanding of science among children. This is the children's dream hall, enabling youngsters to explore the world of science, the specific type of scientific knowledge considered valuable in North Korea. Our guides inform us that aspiring to be a soldier is the ultimate aspiration for North Korean boys. Outside, the footpaths are now bustling with people. The entire urban area appears to be active and awake. They are anticipating the arrival of a bus convoy. We are unaware of the unfolding events and spontaneously decide to commence filming. Nevertheless, Mr. Ham and Mr. Pak exhibit noticeable unease and instruct us to re-enter the vehicle. Photography is strictly prohibited. We still manage to capture a few images. All routes are currently obstructed and tell us to return to the vehicle. Photography is prohibited. Despite the restrictions, we succeeded in capturing some images. All thoroughfares are obstructed. Entry is impossible. Our film schedule, which had been prepared for months by the government, is now halted. What is transpiring right here? After making numerous requests to our escorts, we discovered that the researchers associated with the atomic program are only now being transported to the convention center via public transport buses, and onlookers along the streets are applauding. We are swiftly redirected, however, down a side lane, facing a brick barrier. One of our crew members stayed at the accommodation today, a fortunate circumstance, as he observes and records what we are forbidden to witness from his lodging window, a procession of buses being lauded by the assembly, as their passengers are regarded as national champions. Inside the hotel, the entrance abruptly swings open. The housekeeping staff come in and catch our associate recording. Meanwhile, the bus procession has moved on. The applause has concluded. On our return route to the hotel, our guides are already receiving notifications about our colleagues' unauthorized filming. We are instructed to delete the recordings, or else our security might be compromised. Discreetly, we produce duplicates of the images prior to their erasure. Even before our journey's commencement, we were aware we would be visiting a state under scrutiny. Now we understand that even the hotel cleaning staff are observant. So, one of the nation's most significant economic industries is apparel manufacturing. North Korea formerly produced goods for Chinese firms that were then distributed globally. Trade limitations have significantly impacted factories, such as the Rio 1 footwear facility. Exemplary business. In the main hall, we observe images of the supreme leaders and anti-US messaging. Portraying America as a menace enhances national unity. Yet, these very shoes were once exported to the United States, but that era has long since passed. On the production floor, over 400 workers stitch and bind in unheated environments. We estimate the temperature to be below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Shielded from the chill by warm trousers and mittens, individuals labor here for 8 hours daily, 6 days weekly. We inquire about their compensation. We operate under a centrally planned economy, and every employee receives provisions for their sustenance. This includes housing and approximately $110 each month. The working conditions are arduous. There is the prevalent cold and a lack of respiratory protection, despite the workers handling solvents that cause us to feel faint during our brief visit. We ask if they perform this type of labor by their own volition. There is no career selection available in our homeland. Every citizen is assigned to where their skills are needed. There is no distinction between good or bad employment. The administration dictates your assignment. Our guides likely suspect you might perceive matters differently. To demonstrate the government's care for its employees, they escort us to the sublevel, where a sauna and swimming pool are accessible to the staff. The drawback? The atmosphere and the water on this level are frigid. We surmise the recreational zone is not heated due to an energy deficit resulting from the imposed sanctions. The inhabitants of Pyongyang are living very well. That is the image they wish to project. Recreational pursuits keep them cheerful, as Kim Jong-il, the late dictator's father, had previously understood. Bowling alleys, ice rinks, indoor pools, all of which are surpassed by the largest aquatic facility in North Korea, the Munsu Water Park. Employees from across the nation are brought to Pyongyang to be astonished by the accomplishments of the governing body. The intended message conveyed is that what you observe here, everyone can attain in the future. Should you dedicate yourself to your work sufficiently, you will achieve a standard of living comparable to that of individuals in the capital, so that no photographs are taken. Following the sculpture, you are permitted to take as many pictures as you desire. In the exhibition hall, a monument to Kim Jong-il, the deceased originator of North Korea's entertainment park concept. If you admire the statue so greatly, why is photography forbidden of it? Those are the prevailing regulations within this establishment. A conduit delivers salt water to the water park, despite being located 25 miles from the ocean. As is customary, our supervisors endeavor to maintain separation between the attendees and ourselves. After some deliberation, Mr. Ham selects an individual for us to interview. I originate from the countryside and am visiting the capital with my group. After numerous other destinations, we have arrived at this water park today. I can feel the affection of our esteemed Marshal Kim Jong-un present here. Exclusively for our enjoyment, he has constructed this aquatic facility. Profoundly affects me. Words can barely capture the feeling. Compliments that seem prearranged, directed towards the leader and his affection for his people, which is evident in every aspect. We are given a tour of the dining area, the coffee shop, and the beauty salon. These are the stylish hairdos that Korean women can select from. At the salon, we utilize only the finest tools, as our esteemed Marshal desires our women and men to receive nothing but the best. 18 distinct hairstyles for women, 10 for gentlemen. Adopting one of these styles signifies outward demonstration of your allegiance to the administration. The ruling system of a lineage that has established its own distinct reality, complete with its own temporal system. In 1997, the government implemented a novel calendar that commences with the birth of Kim Il-sung, the nation's founder. Consequently, in North Korea, the year 2018 corresponds to year 107. The progressive new urban landscape of Pyongyang also features an equestrian club. In terms of prestige, it rivals high-end equestrian centers in the West. Once again, we encounter groups of sightseers from rural areas who have journeyed here to observe and express admiration. From our perspective, those observing are ordinary citizens, whereas those mounted appear to belong to a more elevated social stratum. This is the inaugural and sole riding establishment in our country, though we intend to establish many more in different cities. The equines are Hanoverians from Germany and quarter horses sourced from England. How these magnificent creatures arrived here, defying the trade restrictions, remains an enigma. Our esteemed Marshal inaugurated this equestrian club to offer every Korean individual the chance to experience horseback riding. To give every single Korean person the chance for mobility. It's estimated that North Korea's population numbers close to 25 million people. It's highly improbable that all of them will ever experience a ride. This likely serves more to perpetuate the notion of an ideal nation in people's minds. Where do you hail from? I'm a resident of Pyongyang. He is visiting due to the immense respect and admiration we hold for Marshal Kim Jong-un. Where are you from? My hometown is Gakseong. I come from Gakseong. Pyongyang is not his place of origin. He originates from the rural area known as Gaksan County in North Hwanghae Province. The Miriam Riding Club is inaccessible to him. Access to this facility is restricted to the nation's elite. We travel back toward the hotel through the dimly lit streets of Pyongyang. We repeatedly observe individuals in uniform. With its 1.3 million active personnel, North Korea possesses the world's fourth largest military force. The following morning, we depart Pyongyang via the Arch of Reunification, which represents the envisioned reunion with South Korea. As we journey towards the mountains, very few vehicles are visible on the roads. Our destination is the most substantial and contemporary ski resort in North Korea, Masik Ryong, featuring a luxurious hotel constructed in 2014. The Masik Ryong mountain range is situated at the base of the Taebaek Mountains, a range that extends across the entire Korean peninsula. We pass numerous large anti-tank fortifications en route. The outdoor temperature registers at 4 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. The region suffers from cold weather and a deficient energy supply. The impact of international sanctions on North Korea is becoming increasingly apparent to us. We also come across several groups of laborers, similar to this one, who are using the most basic tools to clear ice from the streets. Each village is responsible for maintaining its designated section of road. The local people's committee determines who must participate in street clearing duties. We wish to exit the vehicle and converse with the workers, but, once more, this is not permitted. After a journey of 5 hours, we arrived at the main entrance of the ski resort. Upon arrival, we were informed that we would not be allowed to proceed further. Even our escorts were unaware of the specific reason. We had made arrangements to visit this significant showcase project months in advance. However, it appears that something has gone awry. Following considerable discussion, Mr. Ham conveyed the unfavorable news. They stated it was impossible for us to enter. Furthermore, your stay at the hotel is not possible due to an issue with the electricity. Would it be possible to at least see the hotel and take a few pictures of it? They indicated that vehicle access was denied. This explanation seems dubious, yet we never discover the true reason for being denied access to the ski area. The disruption to our itinerary necessitates an impromptu change of plans. Since the return journey to Pyongyang is excessively long, we must stay overnight in the closest major city, Wonsan. Our escorts appear agitated. Typically, North Koreans are forbidden from entering another city without prior authorization, let alone foreigners. Our visit was not prearranged. Wonsan serves as the provincial capital and is situated on the coast of the Sea of Japan, which both South and North Korea refer to as the East Sea. Initially, our guides arrange lodging for us. The hotel's lobby is unheated and extremely cold. Conversations are taking place frantically over the phone, as we require authorization from the People's Committee for an overnight stay. Obtaining this permit proves to be a time-consuming process. Our sole form of entertainment consists of watching state-sponsored films on television. Inside the hotel room, we experience the consequences of the sanctions firsthand. There is a lack of oil and gas imports from China and Russia, resulting in no heating. Although all the thermometers in the room indicate 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, the actual temperature is around 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot water is provided for only 2 hours daily. In Wonsan, we are also prohibited from leaving the hotel without supervision, and we witness a complete power outage affecting the entire new district. The subsequent morning, we meet with Park Song-ho from the Wonsan People's Committee. His assignment today involves providing us with a guided tour of the city for a few hours. The objective is for Wonsan to become a tourist hub. At least, that is the current plan. Historically, the city functioned as a vital port connecting to Japan, which is approximately 370 miles distant. However, those days are long past. Due to imposed sanctions, Japan ceased all shipping activities in 2006. Since that time, this particular ferry has remained docked in the harbor. Over the past month, media reports have frequently featured incidents involving so-called ghost ships. These are North Korean fishing vessels that have washed ashore on the coast of Japan. In many instances, the bodies of the crews were discovered on board, having succumbed to a lack of fuel and provisions. I have no prior knowledge of such vessels. Vessels from other harbors are believed to have drifted to Japan due to ocean currents resulting from engine malfunctions. Those crews were simply sent back. Many ships are in a dilapidated state, as sanctions prevent the delivery of necessary spare parts. Nevertheless, Park Sung-ho perceives advantages even amidst this scarcity. We are unaffected by the sanctions. Even if the Trump administration imposes sanctions on us until our final moments, we Koreans, under the leadership of our esteemed Marshal Kim Jong-un, will establish our own manufacturing facilities and continue to grow stronger. Before the embargo, the mussel farms in Wonsan represented a primary source of income for the city. Today, their output is solely for the domestic market. Park Sung-ho, representing the People's Committee, intends to escort us to one of the city's exemplary enterprises, the Maegbongseong factory. Once again, deliberations arise regarding what we are permitted to film and, more critically, what we are forbidden to document. The rationale behind these restrictions remains an enigma to us, as is frequently the case. Conversely, on the factory floor, we are encouraged to record footage. The manager proudly speaks of dedicated employees who express gratitude for being assigned to this work by the government. Dissatisfaction or any form of protest is non-existent in North Korea. Posters and banners are prominently displayed everywhere. Their purpose is to enhance productivity, ruthlessly defend against the enemy, rally and sustain the revolutionary fervor, exert effort to ensure uninterrupted progress and the continued prosperity of our nation. These pronouncements are ingrained in North Koreans throughout their lives. The manager refutes the notion that working with adhesives without adequate protection poses a health risk. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. The manager denies that working with adhesives without any protection could be a health hazard. That appears completely harmless. For an entire year, 19-year-old Kum Hui has been working on this production line. We're curious why she's not wearing any gloves. Our attendant, Mr. Ham, considers this question unnecessary. Putting on gloves would only impede her pace. It's better to use bare hands. It was common knowledge, so I didn't even feel like a professional asking her. We could have asked her something else, perhaps if she felt proud working here. The response is quite predictable. It's a tremendous privilege to be employed here. And who are these shoes intended for? We've been informed they were exported to Russia until a few years ago. Since the sanctions were imposed, only the domestic market remains. On our return journey to Pyongyang, we passed the anti-tank defenses again. Travel is not permitted freely within North Korea. Anyone wishing to travel requires authorization, particularly in the capital city. Spontaneously going there is not an option. Those who reside here, or at least can enroll their child in a boarding school, have accomplished a great deal under Kim Jong-un's administration. Situated adjacent to the massive 1st of May Stadium, you'll find a premier establishment for North Korean athletics, the Soccer Academy. Each year, thousands of students aspire to gain admission to this prestigious institution. Roughly only 30 children are selected annually. For those fortunate few, it demands utmost dedication and unwavering loyalty to the regime. Our esteemed leader, Kim Jong-il, personally conceived the idea of establishing this academy. It was inaugurated in 2013, and our revered Marshal Kim Jong-un has also made several visits. Institutions like this, which receive attention from the leader, benefit from special advantages. The children attending are between 7 and 12 years old. Not all of them possess the talent necessary for a future soccer career. However, they all learn unwavering devotion to the regime. We get to tour one of the dormitories. We've been requested not to film any children inside this area. Yes, this is a room for younger boys. They have bunk beds, unlike the girls and older boys. And what else is there? So, the bunk beds are more enjoyable for the younger boys, and the space feels larger. Thus, they experience a bit of a playful time here. 10 boys share one room, under the constant gaze of the Kim lineage. The vice principal still recalls the current dictator's visit. We refer to this as the indoor football area. When our school was first established, there wasn't actually a roof here. It was completely open, you see, and during a visit from our great Marshal Kim Jong-un, he came here, looked up, and suggested it would be wonderful to install a roof. That way, students could practice indoors during rainy or snowy weather. It wouldn't be too cold for the younger children. So we proceeded to build a roof for the students. Kim Jong-un even concerns himself with such minor details. The leader presents himself as a paternal figure. That is the image he wishes people to hold. And they are meant to understand that they owe him profound gratitude and complete allegiance. They engage in 5 hours of practice each morning and an additional 4 hours in the afternoon. Light snowfall is considered suitable weather, so they proceed with their practice outdoors. Initially, a request to interview some of the boys is declined. As I mentioned previously, we must provide the students with all necessary conditions, normal daily routines, and the school aims to avoid disrupting any schedules. It's not beneficial for them. Putting routines aside, the vice principal makes a special exception for us. We are granted permission to ask one boy his favorite aspect of the school. It's simply wonderful to have the opportunity to study and train at this school that our great leader established for us. It fills me with immense pride. A totalitarian regime allows no space for dissent or even spontaneous activity during childhood. Following numerous days of constant observation, something entirely unforeseen occurs. Our escorts grant us 1 hour to explore the city with our camera. Without their supervision, unwatched. However, we are prohibited from speaking with anyone. Only a few pedestrians risk a brief, sideways glance at our foreign film crew. According to international aid organizations, the food situation has improved across all of North Korea in recent years, particularly in Pyongyang. One contributing factor is that farmers are now permitted to sell a portion of their yield at local markets themselves. Nevertheless, we are not allowed to film in those locations. The subsequent morning, we are escorted to the Pyongyang department store, which offers food items alongside everyday consumer goods. However, another issue arises. This establishment has a policy prohibiting cameras inside the store. After considerable negotiation, we receive permission to film in the entryway. Price tags are forbidden. Those who can afford to pay in the currency of their major adversary, the USA, can do so in dollars. The rest must pay substantial amounts in North Korean won. Each citizen is allocated a set quantity of rice and cabbage free of charge. All other items are costly, especially imported products, even preserved cucumbers and garlic. While not overt, scarcity is noticeable everywhere. We are informed that apartments typically lack heating, even in Pyongyang, and often have no electricity. We are then driven to the city's inaugural gymnasium. We are curious to discover what awaits us there. The interior is opulent, yet it is also freezing cold. The energy deficit affects everyone. Kim Jong-un himself inaugurated this facility. Red markers indicate the specific machines he examined during his visit, commemorating the significant occasion. I am a fitness instructor and typically work on the upper level. Employees pose as patrons for us, as there appear to be very few visitors. We must train our bodies diligently to strengthen socialism and prepare for conflict with the United States. There it is again, the pervasive narrative of a U.S. threat that is ingrained in individuals from a young age. We understand that every North Korean is assigned an apartment by the state. We surmise that significant disparities exist between these residences. In this apartment building, situated in a prime location, we finally gain access to a private dwelling, belonging to a chosen family. Naturally, the staff seem to treat us as guests, as there are apparently very few patrons present. We must condition our bodies rigorously to reinforce socialism and be ready for hostilities with America. Here it comes again, the constant claim of a danger from the U.S. that is instilled in individuals from childhood. We've learned that the state assigns apartments to every North Korean. We assume these residences vary significantly in quality. Inside this apartment block, situated in a prime area, we finally get to enter a private home, of a carefully chosen family, naturally. Mrs. Kim Miran is currently the only one home. Everyone else has stepped out. Mrs. Kim resides in a remarkable 2,350 square feet space, along with her children, her husband, and her grandparents. My grandfather, a professor, was awarded this apartment for his steadfast devotion to the current government. The family is not obligated to pay any rental fees. Without a doubt, We will exclusively receive favorable accounts of life within North Korea. Back in the early 1990s, Kim Miran's husband was part of the soccer team temporarily united for North and South Korea. He was the sole player on that combined team who managed to score a goal. These are mementos from his significant match held in Jakarta, the Indonesian capital. This area serves as our kitchen. The large water container indicates that having running water readily available isn't a daily certainty here either. A container of Nescafe, representing a genuine luxury item. In North Korea, this item costs approximately $15, exceeding 10% of the typical monthly income. Mrs. Kim mentions that it's not just our escorts who are attentive to every word spoken. The individual designated as the house manager is also integrated into the system of state surveillance. My husband and my grandparents have traveled internationally on numerous occasions. However, each time they return, they express that even if other places might appear more visually appealing and shine brighter, our nation is superior, as it's the sole location where one can achieve a prosperous and content existence. William Brangham, formerly the President of the United States, notes that Mrs. Kim and her relatives belong to the elite stratum of society. Individuals in her position have ample justification for commending the ruling party. Numerous details are either omitted or kept concealed, not only from us but also from the North Korean populace itself. Our journey during this visit did not provide insight into people's inner thoughts. Personal distinctiveness is discouraged. All individuals must outwardly conform without question to the principles upheld by the Kim lineage. This constitutes the foremost regulation in this enigmatic nation. Thank you for your attention. We appreciate your engagement. Each resident is required to completely adhere to the principles of the Kim family regime, at least visibly. This is the paramount regulation in this enigmatic nation. We appreciate it.